Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, as long as that's 14 plus, welcome to a Wednesday Rare Earth Update episode. I have terrible news. My wife is pissed at me. And I know what you're thinking. How? How could anyone be pissed at someone so polite, so poignant, so kind, so handsome? And I know, I agree, trust me, I agree. And yet she's still pissed anyway. And to explain why that is, I'm going to reel back the clock a little bit, tell you a little story about fame. Francesco, make the... There it is. Six years ago, I was finishing my MBA in the incredibly German town of Mannheim in the incredibly German country of Germany, and my father asked me to help him out on Twitter. Which I didn't want to do for a number of reasons. The first of which is that nobody wants to work for their father, and the second is that nobody wants to work on Twitter. But he is my father, so I decided to help him out. Fast forward 6 months, and he's a household name. And that's weird. He's even on, oh, I've got a prop. He's even on the $5 bill. Well, sort of anyway. There's a likeness of him, and he released it from space, so we just sort of pretend. But even still, even if you're only partially on the $5 bill, that still means something. And it's a strange something. And after he came back from space, that something was happening to us. So our family sat down and discussed it. And it's a question that I want to put to you as well. What do you do? What do you do when in your late 50s, all of a sudden half the people on the streetcar know your name? What do you do when children send you letters that say that they want to become you? When college students get tattoos of you on their shoulder? When adults write songs about you and send them into you in CD form? What do you do? It's a lot of responsibility. And it's way worse than people think. And on top of that, it's really expensive to be a public figure, let alone a celebrity. I don't think people really look at the back end of it all that much, but when Dad first got back from space, we probably received 100 to 200 emails a day. And that's not counting the thousands of other comments we were getting on social media. So to get someone to even organize that email, let alone respond to it, you're talking a full-time salaried individual. So that's two people just to answer what's coming in every day. And if you wait on that individual, if you wait one day, now it's 400 emails. That's almost more than they can handle. So I did that job for about 2 years, and I absolutely hated it. But in those 2 years, we needed to find a way as a family to be able to pay off just answering those emails. Because otherwise, what type of public figure would he be? He wouldn't have written back to anyone. So what do you do with fame? What do you do when everybody recognizes you? It isn't like my family has better answers than you do. We were just as unassuming as you are now. The difference is that we had to come up with some. So we set ground rules. Anything we made moving forward would have to be fun, it would have to be empowering, and it would have to be beneficial to both the audience and to the creator. We would chip off pieces of my dad's fame and give it to both people and organizations that we thought deserved it. And in addition to that, we would create an income stream that was both positive and educational, and hopefully that was able to outlast his retirement. So he got busy. He wrote books, recorded an album, he hosted documentaries and television shows, he gave a speaking tour around the world, he spoke to kings and queens, he spoke to presidents and prime ministers, he spoke to sanitation workers and janitors, he spoke to children and seniors, and all the while he's spreading this message of Canada, of exploration, and of international cooperation. But it wasn't enough, because it wasn't ours. As good as it wasn't quite the message that we were looking to send. So in 2014, he asked me to create something unique, a flagship event. No advertisements, no sponsors, no strings. It was built as a show that was meant to highlight people, ideas, technologies that are changing things, that are worth taking note of. And yet they're also the exact same people, ideas, technologies that you're never going to see on stage, because that's just not where we go to see them. Even though the moment you see them, they're quite incredible. So we wanted to change that. And in that year, in November, we hosted our first generator. On that stage, we had robotic exoskeletons, data scientists, rocket scientists, artists, musicians, comedians, Oh, and Destin Sandlin of Smarter Every Day. It was a really unique show, and we only got away with it by the skin of our teeth. I am surprised that it worked out as well as it did, but it did. Over the next few years, the show blossomed in ways that I never expected it to. We now sell out the most prestigious hall in the largest city in the nation, and that's mind-blowing. We've hosted celebrities, we've hosted heroes, we've hosted cyborgs, we have literally both laughed and cried. We even hosted 12 artists aboard a Soviet icebreaker in the Arctic for 2 weeks just because of this show. And for those keeping score, that's where I met Tom Scott, by the way. It's actually where I decided to start this series. In many ways, Generator is the predecessor of Rare Earth. They're certainly connected. Those of you that attend the show that are devout watchers of this series are probably going to see a number of familiar faces. But that said, they are different. Generator's not recorded. It is meant to be seen live. The entire event is something that you are going to have to experience in person. It just wouldn't come across on video. So Generator is a night of jokes, it's a night of music, it's a night of science, and it's delivered by these people who you're always amazed that you hadn't heard of them beforehand. It's at Roy Thompson Hall in Toronto on November 15th. You should absolutely come out. It is going to be an amazing time. Tickets are probably going to be in the description box below. If not, just Google it. I'm sure it will come up. But yes, the point of this video. The point of this video is that my wife is pissed at me. And she's pissed at me because I have not made the video yet about Generator. So now I've done that. Hopefully she's watched this video and is now seeing that. So Kata, stop texting me. It's over. They're gonna buy tickets, it's all good. If they've been here the whole time, this is Rare Earth. I'm gonna rock a little bit to get myself into it. Sorry. I gotta prep myself here. I gotta get this old lady pillow out from my back. Or is this worse?
Throw it at me.
No, I liked it. I'm going back. You can use this as the end if you want.
That's what, that was my plan.
As I prepare. Ladies and gentlemen.